everyone. Welcome back to another episode of the Love Marriage Fantasy Podcast. I am Coach Star Claiborne. I am your global relationship strategist, your love, life, and confidence coach, and of course, your pure romance consultant, helping you enhance all things bedroom and learn more about sexual health and wellness. And here is my husband and the co-host of the podcast.
That's right. It's me, Mr. Claiborne. I am your global relationship strategist as well. I am also your relationship intimacy advisor. Yes, we do the sexual education together. And I am also an author. So combined, we make up the Claiborne International Coaching Group. Today, in this episode, we have someone to talk about this elusive topic. We tried to get people on here to talk about this, and we finally got somebody for y'all. So I want to introduce to you Mr. Pharoah Tarot, and he's going to talk to us about polyamory. So how are you today, Mr. Pharoah?
I'm wonderful. I'm wonderful. Thank you for having me. I appreciate it.
All right. You want to tell our audience just a little bit about yourself, just a brief introduction?
Well, my name is Pharoah Tarot. I'm 32 years old and single. I'm new to polyamory. What I'll be talking about will come from my perspective, my opinions, my views on it. And I'm a tarot card reader, professional tarot card reader, licensed massage therapist, Reiki healer, author as well. All around healer, spiritual healer, and guide for others.
All right, that's awesome.
I love it.
So later, Mr. Pharoah will give you the information on how to contact him if you want to engage with him for some of his services. All right, so let's get into this. All right, so let me make this clear. I am a supporter. I am an advocate, whatever word you want to use. I believe that a polyamorous relationship can be extremely beneficial. And I feel this way because before I got married, I used to date multiple women. And I saw the benefits in having multiple women as dating partners. So I support the polyamory lifestyle. All right. So now, having said that, I'm going to throw in some questions, but I think it would be fair to have my wife, who is not a supporter of polyamory, to ask you the question. Are you okay with that?
Absolutely.
I support it, so we really wouldn't have a good show if you and I are talking about it and we support it, right? Okay, so my wife, she's gonna come in and just grill you and make you sweat, and you're gonna be pressured.
I'm not
trying
that person. Don't listen to him.
But I got water.
You better get some water. That's right.
I am not that person.
But we're just gonna try to give our audience some insight into the polyamorous lifestyle. All right. Excuse me. So my first question is,
hold on. Before you get into your first question,
okay.
just hold on.
All right.
Let me make it clear that I don't want to say that I don't support. I support anyone's choice and whatever lifestyle they choose. It's just not my choice.
Okay.
Okay, so let's clear that up.
All
okay.
Right.
And I also understand that a lot of times in general, we don't support or we don't choose things because we don't have enough information.
Mm-hmm.
And we only go off what is provided to us from people who we think we look up to. Right. So I want to make that clear that it's not that I don't support. I support any and everyone in whatever lifestyle they choose because that's what works for them. Okay.
Well, I'm glad you cleared that up.
All right. Now you can go ahead.
And I apologize for not allowing you to speak for yourself and trying to speak on your behalf. Okay, so you made a Facebook post, and it was about poly life, and you mentioned how it's something that you desire to experience. Am I saying that correctly? Just saying it was something like that.
Yeah.
Okay, so when I saw that post, it got me to thinking about myself and saying, wow, I remember there was a time when I was first introduced to the poly life, and I thought to myself, wow, this would be nice, but isn't this illegal? But I
Mhm.
know better now, but I'm bringing this up because that's how I felt when I was first exposed to it. So
Yeah.
can you tell our audience about the legalities of poly versus polygamy?
All right. All right. So with as far as the legality, something that I've learned myself is that you could do as far as like contracts. You can both you all, the parties could have written contracts, and then you can get it notarized, and that's one form of way that you could do that. Of course, it could be a verbal agreement. This is what we're in. We're in this poly relationship, because everybody's practicing it knowingly or unknowingly. Nowadays anyway. So I always I always promote the idea of purposely practicing it. This is your intention. This is what you're doing. So when people mention about the legality of it, you can, like I mentioned, you can do a contract, you can get notarized. Yeah, you can, that's a form. You can have a verbal agreement, you have a written contract, both of you all sign it, and there you don't have any issues. And that way, any assets or anything that you have, everything, and a will. You can, if you have a will, there's so many different ways you can go about it.
I didn't know that. Okay. I did know about creating a contract, but what I didn't know was the idea of going to a notary and using a will. Those could be considered contracts as well.
Yeah. I learned that.
Considered being the key word. Okay. Wow.
Yeah.
That's interesting. I didn't know that either. I didn't even know about the contract. So all this is new to me, right? So here we go with here we go with the education. Okay.
Yeah.
But
you're ready to get your education.
This is I'm ready to be educated because it's things we just don't know, right? So and then the audience is definitely ready to be educated. I can tell you that, especially the women. We already know.
Yeah.
Probably about 99.9% of the men. No, I'll say about 90% of the men probably want this relationship, and they have no clue how to tell their woman that this is what they're interested in or why.
Yeah, so, you're right about that. You might be right about that.
One of the things that you said that I kind of agree with, even without having enough education about it, is a lot of people are living it, whether they know it or they don't know it. So talk to us a little bit about that.
Oh, okay. All right. Absolutely. So yeah, you might be in a relationship with somebody, or you might be, boyfriend, girlfriend, you may be married, and your your husband is cheating, got someone on the side. You're like, okay, what is he doing? Where he's staying out late, he's doing this, who is he texting, who is he calling? You gotta sneak around, gotta have your quote unquote side chick or mistress, and I always promote the idea of why not express that to your significant other that, hey, you have this woman. The only reason that people don't say something with a lie is because they're afraid. We only lie because we're afraid of something. Right. We're afraid of losing this person that's in our life. We're afraid how they're going to feel. But if you understand that, like if you're married with someone, or you're in a relationship with someone and they love you, they're with you, spending time with you, and they have this person on the side, this doesn't mean that they're going to love you any less, or treat you any different. They're giving you time, give you attention, they give this other person too. So, because so it's communication is the key. Communication is the big key. You have to be open and be honest, and not try to tiptoe, because your happiness is the most important thing. If you're not happy in a relationship, work it out. It shouldn't be a fix-all, but it's not a fix-all for that. You're not having a person on the side to fix the relationship, but to add to it.
So for someone who's listening to this and they're like, I have no clue what polyamory is, it just sounds like it's just not right. So what would you say to that person, an overview of what polyamory is? What is it, and how does that really look in a relationship?
All right. It is open communication between all parties, between, you know, all the individuals involved. A love, you know, it's one person loving multiple people, you know, and being in a some people say an open relationship, which is you know, I feel it's the same thing, you know, being, you know, but everybody knows about everyone, you know, and that's some people I know they just, okay, you can date, but they don't need to know the other person. That's just, you know, there's so many different variables. It could be one person that's in a relationship with both parties and all the parties know each other, or it's a couple in a relationship and one person knows they know the other person, they don't know the other person. One person doesn't know the other person. Hopefully I'm not getting, you know, confused, because, you know,
You good?
hopefully I'm explaining it right, but where you can understand. But yes, everybody knows everybody, you know, or yeah, everybody's aware that everybody's connected in a relationship. There we go.
Okay.
Okay.
So would you say there is I heard you say that you feel that open relationships and polyamory are somewhat the same, pretty much the same, because there's that communication factor. So how would you differentiate polyamory or open relationships from just dating multiple people?
Okay. Well, and that usually people that are just dating multiple people, they don't know about each other. You know, they're just dating. They're just, okay, it's just this person, and you get somebody else. They on another day you're with at this time. Nobody knows about it. It's kind of, and some people may not even know that they're doing that. You know, kind of just doing it. So that's, yeah.
But with the poly relationship, in some cases everyone knows about each other. But then, like you mentioned, in other cases, they may not know, but they may not know about everyone, but they know that they are in a poly relationship.
Right.
Okay. Did you have anything else?
And it's a commitment. It's a commitment too between everyone. It's a commitment, because sometimes when people are just dating, it's not necessarily a commitment.
Okay, so talk to me about the commitment thing, because I was just telling my husband that if someone walked up to me and said, I want to be in a polyamorous relationship, and I kind of went through the scenario of what I would ask, and one of those would be thinking in my head, do you have an issue with commitment? Why is it that you need multiple versus one? What's the difference? I mean, why would you need that?
Okay. They came to you all and said, hey, they want to be in a relationship with you all?
If someone just came to me, if I wasn't dating, if I wasn't married, and someone came up to me and said, hey, you know, I'm interested in a poly relationship, you know, the first thing that would probably pop in my head is, does this person have an issue with commitment? But you're saying that being in a poly relationship is commitment.
Yeah, absolutely, 100%. It's the same thing, and because with if you're in a poly relationship, it was, you know, it would have to start off. Everybody is okay. So here's let me break this down. So you have like polygyny. Polygyny is one man, multiple women.
Okay.
Now polygamy is everyone has multiple partners. You know, I have multiple men, multiple women. Polyandry, one woman, multiple men. All right. So, and within that dynamic, there has to be some form of monogamy in between each individual, right? So there is that commitment. It's not that you lack commitment, or you just gotta have multiple people. You know, as not gonna be for men, and especially about me, you know, that I'm attracted to multiple women. You know, it might be for intellectual purposes. It might, you know, it might not, you know, it's not all sexual, you know, it's not, or go off the physical so much, but maybe more so the mental, you know. Having multiple people would bring would elevate that person's mental mindset, maybe their motivation. It's not that yeah, like any sort of commitment, like, oh yeah, I'm just gonna cheat on you, just, you know, no, maybe I just like this person, maybe it's just somebody I'm attracted to, you know, I'm gonna like you just as well, you know, and I'm you know, speaking for myself, I'm extremely loyal, extremely committed, you know, extremely, you know, faithful, and never cheated, never will cheat, you know, and that would, I think that also would help with, we also would alleviate the cheating or alleviate, people got baby mama, side chicks. Why don't you just be with, be together, instead of lying, so yeah.
So
Makes sense.
in a
So-
polyamorous, I'm sorry. So in a polyamorous relationship, you can, or you're saying that because it's not all sexual, because sex is important to a relationship, to me anyway, that you can be in this relationship where this person over here is only for mental stimulation and you won't have sex with this person? And that's an agreement that you have?
Well, that's an agreement that you have. Yeah, that's how some people would have it like that, where they are somebody to spend time with. It may not be also, it might not just, it may not be a physical attraction. It may not be a sexual interaction, Just like some people have a friend that's somebody that they spend time with, like, oh, we didn't have, just someone that they just have that sapiosexual relationship with.
Mm-hmm. I have read about couples who say that, I'm sorry, one couple in particular, the woman was saying that one of her partners was strictly for emotional support. She had never been intimate and didn't have any desires to be intimate with this guy. He was only there for emotional support, which was something, the support he offered was not the kind that her partner in the relationship could offer her. So yeah. I understand what you're saying.
I understand, but what about that person, even though he was there for her some emotional support in her mind, and he tells her that, she tells him that, what if he has the feelings for her, the sexual feelings for her?
Well, I'm assuming in her case, the lady I just mentioned, the two of them understand that we are here just for this purpose.
Okay, so all right, so I get it. Okay, so you come together and you say, you're here for my emotional support, you're here for my sexual support, right? So what happens if someone, because it can happen, there's that jealousy factor. It just happens to pop up out of nowhere, as we'll call it for now, out of nowhere. You get this jealousy thing that happens, right?
Yeah.
Oh, now I'm jealous. Even though we have this agreement, I'm jealous. I'm not feeling this. How would you handle that?
Well, you just communication and understanding, and yeah, if and then those boundaries. If you cross the boundary, okay, this is not going to work. But you just have to have that communication, understanding, and then kind of just balance those insecurities. I know because men are jealous just as well as women can become jealous. So as long as you have communication, as long as understanding, and know what you bring to the relationship. That you are valued for you. It's not a competition. That's the thing about competition. Oh, I don't win out. You think because this person looks better or whatever. It's nothing, or you cook better than this person or whatever. It's all about knowing what you bring to the relationship and knowing that you're unique and you have something that's unique to you that you bring that the other person can't. Or will not. It's not possible. You're special in and of itself.
Okay, I understand what you're saying, because in knowing your value and knowing and bringing that value to the relationship, it gives the other members in the relationship a reason to say we want and need this person here because they bring this, that, and the other to the table for us, and so because we're not.
They can cook.
Wait, I'm sorry.
I won't cook, and I don't like to cook.
Wait, what'd you say?
My husband needs someone that can cook because I won't cook, and I don't like to cook.
Oh.
that.
So yeah, that would be a reason to bring someone else in, someone who has those skills. So
you said no.
Right. But the point is you would bring somebody in that brings something to the relationship that either you're not good at or you're not able to do, and that then creates value for that person. That's what you're saying.
But
right?
I do understand where you're coming from, and even going back to thinking about people who are in those things when you talk about the cheating, and it makes me think about some of my friends who will say, and I get irritated because they'll say, well, I know he's cheating on me. And I'm like, well, why are you still there? And my thing is, if you're still there, he's cheating on you, then you pretty much have allowed him to have this open relationship that you don't want to commit to or admit to, right? But you're still there for a reason. And I think it honestly just boils down to how we were raised, and because a lot of women don't even know why they stay. They stay, but then they want to leave just because of what they've been taught. They should only be with one man, right? But I think even in our beliefs as women, and I'll talk to the women, because as women, we tend to say, no, I need to be in a relationship with one man because this is what the church said. This is what the Bible said. This is what my mama told me. This is what my grandmama told me. But then when you get into that one relationship, you're still staying when you know that you're being cheated on, but you have a deeper reason for staying, and you're not being honest with yourself to say, well, if he's out there cheating, then maybe, because a lot of women get vindictive, right? Revengeful. And so they'll know that something is going on, and then they'll go and do the same thing. They'll enjoy it, but then they won't come back to their partner and say, hey, you enjoyed this, I enjoyed this, let's have an open relationship and see how this works for us.
Right. They won't.
Exactly. And bring that conversation to the relationship, that opens that door, and they're like, okay. I think that would strengthen the relationship even better too, actually, and being honest. You have to be honest and just be open. Just let go of fear. Let go of fear and stop trying to control. I say don't try to control, try to understand. Just try to understand this person. What is this, why are they gravitating to the person? What is it about the person? Then what happens? You cheat, okay, you get this woman pregnant, now what? You may lie, you may put it off before you can tell her because you don't want to lose this woman. So I think it's honest to be open, to be honest, because it brings so much value and so much love to the relationship, and then that sisterhood. Bringing that sisterhood and to not the competitiveness that we're taught in Western society, the competitiveness, the individuality, the control. We all work as a team effort on just on so many levels, spiritually, mentally, financially. There's so many different aspects that benefits. And then the children. Nobody's talking about the children. We got to talk about the children. It is, yeah.
You're right. It can benefit the children.
Yeah.
I did want to ask you, because you mentioned the what you call it, polyandry.
Yeah, polyandry.
I heard that one. Okay, and that's one woman with multiple men.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So, tell me, do you think that if more women were exposed to that version of polyamory, they would be open-minded to it? Because I think that one reason women shun polyamory is because they see the one man with multiple women and they're not happy. But if they, I think, what do you think? Do you think if more women were aware that it's possible for them to be in a relationship and be, the one with multiple partners, they'd be more willing to engage in it?
Absolutely. I just noticed from just the posts that I've made, I get a lot of heat on the ones with the polygamy posts, one man, multiple women. So a lot of negative comments on that. But some positive, a lot of positive too. But then when I post the ones for polyandry, one woman, one woman, multiple men, it's just a flood. It's like crazy. I'm like, wow, what in the world?
I think that comes down, and I think I would agree that it probably would change the perspective, because you have to remember the title and tags that are put on women, right? So the title and tags that are put on women, and then even the women who are open enough to say, I don't want to just be with you, they're still called all kind of names in the book, right?
Oh yeah.
And so when you have someone like you who actually puts it up and you're like, yes, this exists, this is real, and this is okay, then you probably have women who are like, what? Like, you really think this is okay? because I think at this point in the where we are in society, it's really going to be up to the men to support the women and continue to push it instead of always pushing that it's okay for the man to
Right.
have multiple
Right.
women. The men
Right.
need to start supporting the idea of women having multiple men. Because if the men don't support it, the women then feel that there's something wrong with it. Instead of doing what they know deep down inside they probably want to do,
Right.
right? They probably want to do it because they probably dated multiple women, multiple men, had sex with
Right.
multiple men while they were dating those multiple men, but now they're
Right.
scared of what people will say if they don't marry one man,
Right.
right? So
Mm.
men
Yeah.
start putting it out there in a different light. Women are going to forever have this conscience behind them about what people are going to say. Because
Mhm.
as you said, you know, polygamy, right? To the men are saying yes. The women are like, right?
Right.
Polyandry, you posted it as a man. The women were probably like, wow, like there's somebody who actually believes this is okay without judging us.
Mm. Yeah, that's true. Yeah, I mean, and that's good. I'm glad you mentioned that. You know, get from that point of view, because I've always wondered what the outside looking in. So yeah, it's it's an important thing, you know, because there are women that are attracted to multiple men for multiple different reasons. You know, some for spiritual reasons, some for a good conversation, some for sexual reasons, some for economic reasons, business. You know, it's so many different things, and just that so many different energy. People have so many different personalities, so it's so much benefit that it could bring, for and just having two strong men that's going to protect you, that's going to honor you and treat you like the goddess that you are. You know, I think that's so then, and it's just, it just depends on what type of men you're attracting that's going to be okay, that's going to be open to this, you
Right.
know. And because, like you said, people are just afraid of judgment, so they might not even bring this to a man like, okay, I'm interested in dating you and dating you, you know, at the same time being in a relationship with you all, or marrying, being brother husbands. They call them brother husbands, and so yeah, so
Hmm. Well, I'm thinking that at some point, if that gets introduced, we may find that women become more comfortable with expressing their sexual interests or their sexual desires, because now they see that people are accepting the idea that it's okay for a woman to have multiple men in her life. And I think that will be it will be like a domino effect that causes women to start feeling like, I shouldn't say domino, but it would start elevating women to the point to where they feel comfortable expressing themselves in other sexual ways. Because right now, I can say as a sexual intimacy advisor, and even you as a sexual wellness educator, there are tons of women who are afraid to openly express themselves sexually.
Oh yeah, definitely.
yeah.
So I think this would be introducing polyandry more so than polygamy and polygyny. I think that would turn the tides. I will start pushing polyandry instead of polyamory. So I'm going to start talking more about polyandry in our podcast, and so just so I can get women comfortable with the idea that it's okay for you to have more than one male partner.
And I'm going to say this as a female. Like I said before, I support anyone of any lifestyle. If it's what makes you happy, do it.
Yes.
Right?
Right.
You want to have 3 partners, or you want to have 10, or you just want one. It's up to you. And again, this is really for the women. Like, it's up to you, and I'm not against any of it. It's just, what's your preference and why do you choose that preference? And for me, it's really about encouraging the women to get other people out of their ear, because a lot of times women end up being so unhappy because even leaving a relationship, they may want multiple partners and okay that now we can have this open relationship, or they may say, I really want to leave, but it's a two-edged sword, because if I leave, then I failed my marriage, right? And it's not even their fault. If I stay, then something's wrong with me because I choose to be in this open relationship with my husband, right? So either way, I feel like women are looked at negatively from either aspect. And so that's why we as women have to get people out of our ear and just do whatever the hell we want to do. Right?
Exactly.
I agree.
Yeah. Yeah. I think, your happiness is the most important thing, and, you shouldn't stay in something just because I know you compromise for your happiness, and then you're only going to be, you have a miserable life, miserable marriage. It's going to fall apart. So, yeah.
And I will say just, and I'm going to say pure romance, because it really has opened up doors, and it's opened up conversations with other women. For those women who think that other women might think something is wrong with you, you might want to rethink, because I can't tell you how many people I've talked to who are actually more open to things, but they're afraid to say it.
That's right.
I have had so many women come to me and they're just like, I'm glad it's you. I'm glad you're the one that's selling this. I'm glad you're the one that I can talk to about this, because they feel like even the next person next to them that they talk to every day, even their best friends, they feel like they're going to be judged if they say something else. So I think even women need to start opening up with each other. And the more they open up with each other about these things, the more and more they'll find that society really shouldn't be dictating how you feel.
Exactly. Yeah, we got
Who you are.
Yeah. I'm glad that you all brought this to start this conversation and to ignite this, to further this conversation, so we can, I think the table will turn, things will shift, over time, and it's already happening. It's widely known. It may not be. It's a little taboo. There's many many poly Facebook groups, many meetups and stuff like that, where people are doing this. But yeah, I think it will start to become more mainstream, just as
right,
over the years, yeah.
Or more spoken, because I really think a lot of people, like you said, are already doing it. They just either don't want to call it, right?
Yeah,
they don't know the term. Or they're just thinking about, what is my mother going to say?
Right. But I think the key thing would be just getting them to start talking about it.
Yes,
that would be a huge step on its own, because in doing that, they will start to see that they are not alone. There are other women out there who feel the same as they do. So I think if we could just get a lot of people listening to this podcast, it will help with changing the times. So I want to ask you, and I'm going back to your Facebook post.
Okay.
What is it that you find so desirable about being in a poly relationship? What is it?
Well, I look at it from multiple angles. A lot of love. That's a lot of love. A lot of love I receive from multiple women. I love different personalities. I'm very intellectual. I love mental stimulation. I love to learn. I love to teach whatever I learn. And I think that would just bring just different energy, different people. It's just, to be surrounded by, I'm attracted to women for their beauty, for the physical beauty, for the mental, and for somebody and nurturing, the caring. And then you get like I said, somebody can't cook, somebody can't cook, somebody likes this, somebody does this, somebody could cook, somebody could sew, somebody could do this. There's somebody help me with my business, somebody could do, and we can do business together. That's just, there's so many different dynamics. So I think that's just one of the biggest things. And then it's just, I think it would be very, very inspirational, motivational. I think that's really why I like it. Where it's I don't, I'm attracted to most of them. I'm attracted to women. I love women. I love you. I love women life. So I mean,
as most men love, well, not most men, but as men love women.
Right.
Yeah.
So, Now, and I have to point this out because you didn't say this one word. You said you love women, you like being mentally stimulated, you like how beautiful women are.
Probably already
You
know what
want
he's
to
going
have,
say.
you said you want to have women there to help you with your business and so on. But there's one word you failed to mention, and I'm not trying to put you on the spot at all. I'm not right.
You don't have to answer the question, but
exactly.
you should answer the question.
Just so our audience, no pressure at all. But you didn't mention sex.
Right.
Right. So what's up with that? Why didn't you mention sex?
Okay, well, I can explain that. You know, one thing about me, it would be 2 years. Haven't had sex in 2 years. It'll be 2 years in July.
Oh,
2 years in July. Yeah. So that's one big reason why it's not like on the forefront of my mind. And that's something that maybe I should start talking more about. That's actually, you know, I don't ever post about it. It's not really, and I know I get a lot of posts about a lot of comments about that. You want to have sex with? I mean, I'm not even. If you know me, I'm not even having sex. I love sex. It's a beautiful thing, but you know, it's to me, it's a deeper aspect than just, you know, it's one thing having making love and just screwing. So, you know. So I look at it from. I think that's important. I think it's a great. It builds that connection. You need that. For health reasons, just for endorphins, how you feel good. You know, spiritually grow, everything. So it's a valuable thing. But I mean, I think it'd be a great thing. I mean, I've never experienced it. I've never experienced threesomes or foursomes or anything like that. Or, but you know, it sounds wonderful, but yeah, but yeah, that's not my foundation. I think that's the foundation. It's not going to last, in my opinion. But yeah, I mean, but that is an important thing. I'm not going to say that's not. That is definitely an important aspect to the relationship, and especially that strengthens it too. And once you start engaging it, and more, and just, you know, man, that person could be toxic and everything, but you just go back for the sex. Just man, they get that.
Okay.
So, you had a question before I asked the question.
Oh well, I did. So, the celibacy.
Okay.
I can speak on that. I was celibate for 3 years, so I know what you're going through, and so I'm saying this because I think that our audience needs to know this in case they meet someone like yourself who's practicing celibacy, right? So what I want to share is, if you find yourself with a celibate man, try to be understanding to his reason for being celibate. That's really important, and it's important that you try to understand that, because as women, Mr. Pharoah, and when they decide to be with the man, they've already decided whether or not they want to have sex with you. So if you come across some women who want to be in this polyamorous relationship with you, you know that they're going to want to have sex. So they will want to have sex, no doubt about it. So I think it's important that as someone who's practicing celibacy, that you make that clear to them, you know, that you are practicing celibacy and you probably will continue for some period after y'all get into this relationship. So ladies, that's something that you should discuss. Like, what are the terms regarding sex if I enter this poly relationship? That is absolutely something you must discuss. Would you agree?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. I mean, I'm not saying I'm never going to do. I mean, I want actual commitment, actual relationship, or you know, someone that actually intend to marry, and that's, you know, that's not just, you know, that's me. I don't do friends with benefits.
Right.
So during this, now that we know that you've been practicing celibacy, right? How many women have you encountered that you've actually spoken to about your interest in polyamory, and what type of responses did you get?
Well, yeah, I mean, any woman that I talk to or have an interest in or has an interest in me, I always mention that. I always ask the question, okay, you open to it? You know, you're open to having sister wives, you know, and a lot of this is no, nope, no, I'm not gonna want no, no. That's just a lot of no's. A lot of no's.
Are you surprised? I mean,
No, I'm not surprised. I'm not surprised at all. I understand, you know, I think I'm a great man, wonderful man. I can understand why people want me all to themselves, you know. But you know, yeah, it's not, yeah, a lot of people, you know, but I mentioned that too. I always mention that. It's where I'm not having sex with anyone, so I'm not like, that might be something that's in their mind that, you know, right. But when they see that, and I bring that up, and they understand, okay, it's not, it's for different reasons. It's not, that's not the foundation. That's not the focus, you know. And yeah, so.
And they still say no.
I was about to say, so what is their response
at
that point?
Yeah, I still got no. I mean, yeah, I'm not talking to you. I'm not building with anyone. I'm not building a relationship with anyone. Yeah, I haven't. Yeah, so I don't know. I don't know why. I don't know why this is good, but you know.
They just want you all to themselves, and that's it. They don't want to share.
Right. It's this.
Part of their reason for saying no could also be because, like Star was saying, they don't want to be judged. They don't want their friends and family thinking that their man is allowed to do this. So to avoid that judgment, they rather just say no. I don't want to be in that type of relationship.
And the other thing is, there, you know, some people, men and women both, are just not open-minded. They're very closed-minded. And I'm not saying going into something knowing what you want is being closed-minded. That's different. But I'm saying that if you don't know what it is and someone brings it up to you, you're just saying no just because of what other people think again, and not having your own information. I think that's being closed-minded, right? Did any of these women even ask you why, or ask for an understanding of what it was and how it would work?
There's some women that have, but they when I bring it up, the women they're like, okay, I want you all to myself. Or they're thinking that's going to happen like overnight. So you're gonna, you know, you with one woman, and then you're gonna bring someone else in tomorrow. You know. So they're like, okay, I want to be with you for so many, you know, for X amount of years. I want you all to myself for this time before I bring someone else in. So, you know, but most of the time it's just, you know, most of the time people don't really inquire so much or try to understand. You know, it's just kind of this is what it is. I noticed that too, especially in my posts, that nobody really like, you know, okay. I had some people that have hit me up and kind of asked me a few questions, but most of the time, you know, they already have made up their mind of what it, you know.
So I just think from a woman's perspective, the first thing that goes through our mind, because it's hard to find a faithful man, is if you want to be in a relationship with multiple women, then you just want to have sex with multiple women. So it's all about sex. What else would you get from being with that woman, and why else? Because as we know, men being who they are, visual, you're going to be around this woman and you're going to want to have sex with her, even if you say you're not going to want to have sex with her. Even if you say it's for the mental stimulation, that mental stimulation is going to lead to more of a physical attraction. And if you decide you want to be in a relationship with that person, any kind of relationship, as a man, and I hope as a woman too, you still already have a physical attraction to that person.
Right.
So now when it comes to that, you think about, okay, so all of us supposed to be in this relationship having sex with each other? Is that how this works? And why? Like, why would we all want to have sex with each other? And I'll tell you, in my head, I'm like, I'm not trying to catch what this person might have or might not have or might be doing out there, and I don't know what they're doing. Yeah, we have an agreement, which it could be the same. Don't get me wrong. You could be in a monogamous relationship and somebody could be cheating on you and not use protection and bring you something back. Clearly, we already know that has happened probably millions of times in this lifetime, right? But I think in my mind, I would say I would be opening myself up to more of it and the possibility of more of an opportunity or a chance to get something.
To encounter a STD.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So, I'm sorry. Go ahead. Go ahead.
No, but that's where communication comes in. That's where trust comes in. Having an understanding, you know, and all of, you know, the energy, the vibe of the person. You know, you want to, and not just willy nilly doing it, but really kind of what I want to say, vetting, kind of like vetting the person, kind of like, you know, investigation. What is the person about? You know, if you're doing to get the sex tests, you know, kind of STD testing and stuff like that you'll probably do when you get in monogamous relationships, to do those same things. And then, yeah, I mean, yeah, very well, it could, you know, some people could be out here doing whatever, but again, it comes back to the trust, comes back to the honesty, you know. Yeah.
But we say that most men are bringing up the idea, and I hear you, and it's just hard to believe that, you know, the idea of it from a man's perspective, and no, I'm not a man, from a man's perspective does not fall on the sexual side of things. And I think that's where women tend to get uncomfortable. It's like, are you really wanting this relationship for other means other than a sexual purpose? Because we know if we get in this relationship with another couple that y'all are going to have sex. Like, you are a man. You have a physical attraction to this woman. So it's hard to hear someone say that they're interested in that relationship and not even think that sex is not going to happen.
Right. I mean, I mean, it definitely will happen. I mean, and probably because I haven't had it in so long, that's probably not it's not. I don't know what it is. I've thought about that a lot too. You know, because it's not really on my mind. It's not really. I thought now it's going to happen. I know it's going to happen, and I know some people may have a certain day you might do it with this person, maybe another day. You know, I know some people have days that they have, or that they, you know, or people may do it all together. You know, but yeah, that's, I don't know. I'm different. I guess I'm different. I guess.
Okay. You look like you're
no, I'm thinking, because I'm thinking about this whole sex thing, and I'm like, men have to want this relationship because of sex. Because you hear a lot of relationships, marriages, they fail because of sexual reasons, financial reasons, right? Sex is a playing factor in the reason relationships fail. So you decide you want to have sex with and from other men. I hear other men, because I ask men. I don't have a problem asking men, so why did you cheat? And you know, men at work are like, oh, I'm going to see my side chick. And I'm like, does your wife know? You know, and they're like, no. Well, then why are you doing it? You know, so if they're saying that they're doing it because it's something new, it's something different, then why not just not be in a marriage?
Right.
Why even make the commitment of a marriage and just do what you want to do and be okay with that?
Well, I think the reason most people don't explore a poly relationship, whichever variable they may choose, is because they don't know how they work. And it goes back to what you were saying about the education. Right. I think the majority of people, they just don't understand how it works. And you made a good point, Pharoah. A poly relationship, and I've heard, I have a Tumblr page where I'm in contact with poly couples, but I've read where one of them said, this was something that happened gradually. It wasn't where they one day said, okay, well, we're going to be in a poly relationship. So, you know, with the education comes, I guess, your mind starts to open up more to the idea of it. Right. With the understanding, I should say, your mind starts to open up to the idea of, well, maybe this might be something good. But you start opening up to it, not because of the sex, because you already know the sex is going to happen.
Absolutely.
Your mind will start accepting the idea.
It's an unspoken thing that's just going to happen. And
absolutely.
You know it. And if you decide to be in a polyamorous relationship, you need to know sex is involved. And that, again, I think is where women back up.
Well, that would be. Let me say.
For multiple reasons.
Let me say this.
For multiple reasons.
A poly relationship regarding sexual activity isn't that, and I'm just speaking off what I've learned. It's not much different when it comes to sex. Sex is an unspoken thing in every relationship.
I understand.
So you go into a monogamous relationship knowing that at some point you're going to have sex with this person.
But when men,
the point
discuss
what
polyamory,
I'm trying to say there is sex shouldn't be an issue when it comes to talking about polyamory, because you already know that it's going to happen.
No, not that it should be an issue, but I think, again, it's up to the men to help these women have open minds, because like you're saying, in a relationship, a marriage, the sex is unspoken. We know that that's going to happen, right?
Right.
Well, when men speak of being in this other relationship, they're not just open about the sex part, right? But they'll make it, they speak it down like that's not a factor.
Okay,
they speak of all the other benefits,
right,
as if sex is not one of the benefits of it. And
yeah.
So, of course, when a woman is like, yeah, let's try this, and then all of a sudden the sex comes into play, it's like, well, you didn't mention that in the beginning. Like, that's what you're saying.
Right. I understand.
You played up all the other aspects and benefits of being in this relationship. You know, and that's not fair to the women.
No, it's not.
Right.
Because I can guarantee, if a woman says that she wants to be in a polyandry relationship, more than likely, if you have that conversation with her, I don't know, maybe she probably would be the one to say that sex is going to be a thing. And for instance, we just had someone on the podcast who said, oh yeah, if I could just get the sex from him and have the conversation with him, I'd be good. She was very open about that, right? But men are not as open about that. They still play it down like they're afraid to say something. They're afraid to say it all, probably because of the way the women will take it, right?
Could be.
Definitely because of the way the women will take it. But I think men need to have a responsibility in helping women to be more open-minded about the idea, right? Because men can do whatever they want, and
in this society,
it's fine, it's okay, he's not this, he's not that. As soon as a woman does it, everything in the book, like everything you can think of, that's who she is and that's what she is, because she chooses to be free with her lifestyle.
So what we have here is an issue of responsibility, where the man has to take on the responsibility of letting the woman know that you have as much say so in this as I do, right? And then the woman taking on the responsibility of understanding, without it being said, that sex is going to be on the table. So even if he doesn't mention it, you need to accept that it's going to happen.
So let's not mention the men. Let's not mention the other thing that throws women is the men who will go out there and do what they're doing. Let's just say you're in this marriage and the man goes and he cheats. He's happy with that. He's enjoying the sexual life with this woman. But the problem is, if she did come to him and say, hey, I'm open with this, we can have an open relationship. Oh, now his mind shuts down because he doesn't want to see her with another man.
Yeah.
You have that does happen. And there are so many men who throw that at women. No, I don't want to see you with another man, but then they'll go back and cheat again. Why is it okay that you can be with other women, and if we were to come to you and say, well, we want to be with another man because clearly you're not getting something from me, and I clearly ain't getting something from you because you're out there cheating, so I'm going to go here and find something too sexual. Let's leave it at the sexual side of it. What's the problem? Why is there an issue that you can't fathom the thought of me being with another man?
Yeah, that's control. That's control. You know, and that's control, and that's not right. If the other person's not going to be happy, and it's just
You're right. It is. I agree with you. It is a control thing. But we mentioned this, or you mentioned it earlier, where the most important thing instead of control is understanding. Taking the time out to communicate so that all parties, I was about to say both, so that all parties have this clear understanding of what this is and what it's going to become.
Yeah.
That way, as time goes on, everyone knows this is what we got ourselves into, and this is what we should expect as time goes on.
I do have another question based off of what you said about it gradually happening. So when you decided, or has polyamory always been something since you've been dating, or did it come on from a specific relationship that you had?
So let me think about this. No, I've always had monogamous relationships. You know, I've never been, you know. So in 2017, I don't know how I got introduced to the idea of poly, but but when I realized that I was, I was attracted to multiple women, I like this woman, you know, she's really amazing, she's really great, spend time, just a lot of love, energy, and then there's somebody else, like, man, who is that woman? She's so great, she's so beautiful, so attractive, and just the spark, the energy is just like, man, that would be great. I would, and that's one thing I don't want to. Oh, I have to choose. Oh, I have to choose. Why are you gonna make me choose? Why I gotta choose between you and you, huh?
You want to be free.
You want to be free to choose, right? Free to have all of them if you want. Yeah.
Right. Why do I have to choose? Why do I have to say that? Okay, she's better than you. All right, for whatever reason. Why do I have to? I don't want to have to do that. Both of y'all are good in your own way.
Speaking about why she's better than you, I think in the back of a woman's mind, that's competition, which a lot of women, unfortunately, they compete. And they compete about everything. And they don't know how to come down off the competition and really just help each other and support one another.
Exactly.
So I think when they're asking a man, well, what does he have? What does she have that I don't have? Right? It then becomes a competition thing. And I'm sure men go through that too if a woman is cheating, I guess. I don't know. But I can see where that's like, okay, I don't want to say that she's better than you or you're better than her. You're both great, but
right, in your own way brings every woman brings out something different in a man. Every woman, whether that's a romantic relationship, platonic relationship, every woman does. So it does spark something different in the man's mind, and in the man's in how they carry, how they make them feel. That saying, the whole saying that women don't remember men for who they are, but how they made them feel. So I think that's an important thing. So yeah, I mean, I will have to, and I remember I had back in 2017, I was talking to this woman, and I mentioned it that I wanted multiple women, and she was not for it. She did not want that at all, And this woman, I was like, man, I told her, I was like, I'm gonna marry you one day. I'm gonna marry. I told her mother that too. I was like, marry one day. Your daughter's so amazing. I'm gonna marry. She didn't believe me. She didn't think I was. I was like, I was dead serious too. But that was the thing. Was that she didn't want that, and she was like, well, so, I don't think you should compromise your happiness, and
I agree.
So yeah.
I completely agree. Don't compromise your happiness.
No. So I have a question. Since you mentioned you were with a woman and you felt like this was the woman you wanted to marry, if you found yourself with a woman you were with for a long period, and she brought it up and said, I want to do this. I'm ready now. But I want to have multiple partners, and you can have multiple partners as well. Would you be open to that? Would you be comfortable with your main woman, your wife? Would you be comfortable with your wife saying, I want to have multiple men, and you can have multiple women?
See that hesitation? That is exactly what I was talking about.
yeah, that's true. Now here's the thing. I've always thought about this stuff. I thought I'll look at it from I take my shoes off, put it, put in the other person's shoes, you know, see where they're at and how they feel. I don't like to control anyone. I don't want to control them. I don't want anybody to think that I want to control them. I really don't. And I've thought about that a lot. But I wouldn't feel comfortable. I wouldn't feel comfortable with it. I mean, you know, that's just me personally. It's just me. It's just Pharaoh, you know, thing that because of men are territorial, and you know, different energy. I look at it from just all angles of, you know. I think it's just going to be so much drama. I just think that's going to be a lot of drama. That's going to be a lot. It's just not drama that I wouldn't. I mean, maybe I might. Yeah, it could be a brother that, hey, we good friends, we connect. You know, but somebody's going to be. I think somebody's going to. I think it's going to be a, you know, a territorial thing, or somebody going to have more possessiveness, quote unquote possessiveness, than someone else. You know, or yeah, I don't know. I don't think that would. You know, now I don't know if you're mentioning like, okay, she has a man, but maybe I don't know this person, and maybe I don't interact with this person, we don't live together or whatever.
She's saying she wants to be in a poly relationship. However, she wants her choice of men, and you can have your choice of women. But y'all the two of you are a couple, committed couple. But you're going to have your choice of women. She's going to have her choice of men. You would not be comfortable with that.
I think about this. I'm like, okay, I don't. What is it? Because I have to think about looking from this point. What is it about? What is it that's making you not want to do that? What is not letting you know? Just okay. If I just love without attachment. Just let it. You know. So, and I trying to work on that, work on that idea of love without attachment, and
it's not easy. Love without attachment is not easy.
No.
Right? It's not easy. So, yeah, I mean, and I try to put myself. I've never been, of course, never been in that situation, but I just try to put myself in that situation. And I don't know how, and I guess I have to be in a situation too to kind of really think about it. But to know that, okay, she's never going to leave me, and you know, we're committed, and there's going to be no drama, no conflict. Look, I'm just saying I'm open to it. I'm not going to say write in stone, this is what it is. No, I'm not going to try to do that. I don't want to do that. I don't want to try to put, but just how, I don't know. I would prefer. Like I prefer a polygynous lifestyle, I also prefer, and I can also say this too, because the fact that I've met women where I like her. She's in a relationship with someone, and I like this one. I think, man, she's dope. She would be great. But the man, it's like, and he can tell the energy, like, okay, sure, she likes me a lot, she's feeling me or whatever. I'm like, okay, all right, I respect y'all's relationship. I just, it's not, it's I don't know. It's I don't know. It's
open, but you can't make that decision until it happens.
Yeah, I can't make a decision until it happens, but
Let me tell you from a woman's perspective.
Okay.
That as you're sitting down and dating these women and you're introducing the idea of polygamy,
yeah,
you're probably going to have that question come up. And if you're hesitant, our mind is going to be like, okay, so why is it fair that you can and we can't?
Yeah. That's the thing. Right. Right. That's true. That's 100% true. And that's the question that's been asked too, and not,
because I really would be saying, I mean, I'm probably more outspoken than most women might be, but that's probably what I would say to somebody.
Well, that's good, and I'm glad that, and that's the, I'm going to be open, and that's something that's kind of like, I guess we're always growing, we're always kind of looking, and okay, let me think about this, and really, so
But I also think being open, if you're saying that you're open and it was introduced in the midst of, you would more than likely move forward with
Mhm.
it to see if it worked.
Right, right. That
If
is,
someone says they're
yeah.
open to something,
Mhm.
usually they'll try it, right?
Mhm.
They won't just be like, no, this is not happening, period, point blank, not happening. Usually when
Mhm.
someone says they're open, they're willing to try it and see if it works for them.
Right.
Either it
Exactly.
works or it doesn't work, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
I think the most challenging thing, if someone was in the scenario that I presented, as a man, the most challenging thing for him would be him feeling the loss or experiencing the loss of his wife. I think that's the most challenging thing for him. So if he could embrace that idea, embrace the idea that she's not going anywhere, she's going to be there with him, I think he would then be more open to the you know the the open polyamory relationship, polyandry and
That's
Yeah.
polygamy.
understood.
I
That's
think he
understood.
would. But if
Yeah.
she's not able to to if she's not able to help him feel secure in
Right.
that idea that she's not going anywhere, I think he wouldn't want to participate. He would say, no, I'd rather us just not do it.
I think
Because
it goes both ways.
Absolutely.
It's the same
I
thing
don't
for women.
know.
I think
I
for
don't I
women,
don't agree. I think and I'm only and I'm saying this because I've done the research. I know that women's sexuality has been oppressed for centuries. And I really think that if women were given the opportunity to practice polyandry, they would do it with no doubt, with no hesitation. They would
you
do
might
it.
be right.
So
That's true.
I really think that if the woman presented the idea to the man and she was able to help him feel secure that, baby, I'm not gonna leave our relationship. I will always be your woman. You will always be my man. I just want us to experience, other people.
But
If
I
she can convince him that she's not going anywhere, I think he'll go along with it.
But I think even that convincing stage, it still comes to the fact that whether it's monogamous, polyamory, polygamy, polyandry, it doesn't matter the convincing to a certain extent because no matter what you decide to do, there's still you're taking a risk when you decide to be with somebody because you don't
Yeah.
know what that person is going to do no matter what they say to
That
you.
is true. You don't know.
And I think if
Mhm.
people look at it from that perspective, they might be more open minded. A man can come and try to convince me that he ain't gonna never gonna leave me if I decide to be in this polyamorous relationship. But at the end of the day, your words mean nothing. It's your
Actions.
actions,
Yes.
Absolutely.
you know.
Uh,
And I think
Yeah.
a lot of women have gone through so much of men saying what they're gonna do,
But not
and
following
then they're
through.
not following through on it. So it's like I hear you, but I don't hear you.
Yes, and that's interesting that you mentioned that because it made me think of that about this. When people get into relationships, if a man's with a woman, he's cheating, constantly cheating on this woman, constantly cheating, and then he brings it up like, really? Now you bring up, you think, you're not showing any loyalty to me in initially.
Mm-hmm.
You
True.
can't be good in a monogamous, being in a monogamous relationship. How are you going to be faithful in this whatever poly dynamic that's decided? Why?
That's a good point. I think if a married couple or someone who's in a committed relationship decides that's what they want to do it before you cheat.
Absolutely.
Or
Right.
bring it up before you cheat. So at least your partner knows you brought this up. This is something that interests you. This is, a concern, an interest, whatever it might be. I don't know as to your reason. But the point is you brought it up and there's been some communication about it. And who knows? Maybe she'll open up or he'll open up or maybe not. But at least you know that it's been brought to the table and there's no disloyalty from the very beginning. So I think that's
Right.
the point.
If this man's treating her right, loving her, communication's there, the sexual energy's there, the spiritual energy's there, just everything on every level, the stability, financial aspects, take care of home and everything, and this woman's just, this man just everything. This woman like, okay, yeah, you're a great man. why would I not want someone else to experience this too? Experience you too. Well, you know.
No, that's not how we gonna think.
Oh, you know.
I'm good. I don't really care for nobody else experiencing what my husband is giving me. I'm just being real. I don't care if they know or don't know. I'm good. No, we're not.
Right, okay.
Right.
Now,
right.
men might think that way. Men might feel like, yeah, she's sexy. She putting it down. Why don't I let somebody else experience? No, we're not thinking that. No.
Yeah. So I still think if all of these different relationship dynamics were introduced to the general public in a positive light, we would have more people doing it.
It's true.
We would have more people living these lifestyles.
Society drives decisions.
Yes, society drives decisions.
Unfortunately, right?
Mm-hmm. Unfortunately.
Yeah.
Okay, so I'm sorry. Go ahead.
No, go ahead. Yeah,
all right, so we're about to start wrapping this up, and so usually toward the end of the podcast, we'll ask our guests to leave our audience with some words of wisdom or some key points that they can take with them after listening to this, and they'll be able to say, I got something from this podcast. So what can you share with our audience that will help them out in some way, maybe understanding polyamory?
Yeah, so education is the key thing. Educate, research, YouTube. You can read YouTube different poly relationship, poly families, get just different perspectives on it. And communicate. Just communicate, educate people, talk to it, start the conversation. And I think that's the big thing. Communicate and talk about the conversation. Start the conversation, get it talking about it, and be expressive to your partner if you're thinking about this. Why there's something that you want to do. If you're not in a relationship, just be honest about it's something that you want to do in the future. Every person, the people that you meet, bring this up. You never know who you might be that might be on the same vibration, same level as you, for sure.
That's true. That is true. Because as I said before, there are more women out here that I believe, just based off conversation, would actually be interested, but they're afraid.
Mm-hmm.
They're probably
be honest. Be honest.
They just need people who they just need people who understand. They can't find people who understand, and they don't want to be judged for it. So, well, we do appreciate you for joining us. And again, this is a topic that we are trying to educate our audience on. It comes up from time to time, and of course, like you said, when you make those posts, it can either be shunned or it can be accepted, right?
Yeah.
And so our job is to educate, and to let people know these are options. Just be happy with whatever you choose to do. Right. So tell us a little bit of how our people can find you, how they can locate you. Maybe someone listening is saying, yep, I'm up for that too. So let me go ahead and reach out to this brother. So tell the audience how they can reach out to you and how you can help them as well.
All right. So you can my website is www.serenitywithself.com. That's www.serenitywithself.com. I do tarot card readings, Reiki, past life readings, so wide range of things I do. Also Instagram, Pharoah Tarot, or also my other page is the Crystal Doctor on Instagram, or Facebook. Of course, I'm pretty frequent on Facebook. I go live a lot, pretty frequently on Facebook. Pharoah Tarot as well. So.
Okay. We need to get you back on here so you can talk about some of those spiritual practices that you can offer to people. I'm pretty sure. I know there are several of our audience members who would be interested in learning from you.
Oh yeah.
So
yeah, I would love that. Yeah.
If you don't mind, okay, sure. So we'll set it up and have you come back on, and then you can educate our audience on other things.
Well, I appreciate it. Thank you all for having me. I really appreciate it. For having me as a guest. It's an honor and privilege for sure.
It was definitely a pleasure. I enjoyed it.
Absolutely.
This was fun.
I enjoyed it as well.
And listen, depending on the response we get, you might have to come back on and elaborate on some of the stuff that you said.
Okay. I'm all for it.
All right, okay.
Well, thank you again, everyone. Make sure that you subscribe, hit the bell, like, share, all that good stuff wherever you see this podcast drop. And we will definitely drop another one for you soon.
That's right. Thank you, everybody. Have a good night.